Today's going to be a special day today on the show. The scheduled show that we're supposed to be doing is the second chakra. We realized the guides totally hijacked the show and it was about something completely different than it was supposed to be. So, that's kind of what's happening this week as well. We're going to go over the second chakra. I'm going to do a grounding exercise for everybody so I can teach you guys how to ground. I'll channel that from the guides. But then my dad, aka Papa, is here in the studio today. Say hi, Papa.
Hi, Papa.
No, hi, Papa.
Hey, Poco.
Hello. So now people are going to be calling me that. Anyway, my dad's here. Him and I started this whole, I guess, mission or this whole, I don't know what you want to call it, back in, I think it was, 2012? About 2012, February 2012, we started recording our first tapes. I had just learned how to channel, so I was channeling like this. The guides come in and they say what we'd like to say, but an example of me channeling back then would be what? Weed. Like, so for hours I would be talking kind of slow like that, channeling through information from angels, guides, teachers, spirits from the other side. And my dad is a devout Christian. I was raised Christian, sort of. I mean, we celebrated the holidays. I didn't ever really read the Bible. We'd read a little piece out of the Bible before Christmas. And, we're just like your average Christian family that doesn't go to church all the time. But my dad's always been a seeker, a spiritual seeker. But anyway, so when I told him in 2011-ish that I was talking to the other side, he kind of freaked out and was like, oh my gosh, it's the dark side. And we had this whole falling out with the church. Long story, it's on my blog actually, where we actually kind of got asked to leave our church because I was seeing this stuff. And so in 2012, the guides came through and they told me and my dad that we were going to be writing these books and educating people about the other side, where we go when we die, where we come from, who are we, what are we, where do pets go when they pass away, all the questions that us as human beings feel like we have to wait until we die to figure out the answers. Because once we die, then we get to go to the other side and go, oh my God, that's what's really going on here. So 2012, we did a book called Answers Heaven Speaks. I actually have it on our website. It's www.discoverintuition.com. So we have our Answers Heaven Speaks, and then our book that most people know as far as the snow globe, where it's a technique that the guides taught us how to clear our energy, how to see energy, how to feel energy, how to cross over spirits, how to do all of these amazing mystical things using the visualization of a snow globe. So anyway, today, I think what we'll do is I think we are going to take some callers. We're winging it. I spent some more. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So in mediumship, especially when someone is a trance channel, which is what I am, the trance channel's consciousness or their awareness leaves their physical body or their mind, steps aside, and allows another aspect of self, which is what I do. I channel my higher self, and my higher self then acts as what's called a gatekeeper. And that gatekeeper connects with the guides, the angels, the teachers, and brings messages through to me, and that trance channel, me, delivers those messages. And then when I'm done, it's like, whoa, what happened? What's going on? I don't even know what was said. And my dad is what's called my battery. So when an example is Jerry and Esther Hicks. Esther Hicks is a channel. I believe she's a conscious channel, though, a semi-conscious channel. She may be a trance channel, but I think she does conscious channeling. But then her husband was the one that would ask questions. So without somebody to ask the questions of a channel, it's kind of pointless because I either fall asleep. Well, yeah, I just fall asleep. If I'm like, okay, I'm going to ask the guides a question about my future and I want to figure out what's going on in my life. And I'm like, okay, guides, I call them all in and I ask them a question. I turn the tape recorder on. And then next thing I know, I say like a few words and then I'm out and I wake up a couple hours later. I listen to the tape recorder and there's nothing there. So having my dad here is actually pretty cool. He lives part-time here, part-time in Mexico. And so he's here right now, awaiting the birth of Mr. No Name here in my belly.
Tank.
Tank. He's calling him Tank. We're all calling him Tank because he's supposed to be really big, and I'm not looking forward to that. But anyway, so why don't we start? And I think we will take some callers and have people ask questions, right? Is that what we're going to do?
Whatever you want to do is fine.
Okay. All right. Well, the guides are all here. When my dad and I channel, his guides are, he's got a guide named Eden, one named, Jesus. And in our books, that's who we channeled, was Jesus and all of his crew that he taught with back in the day, 2,000 years ago, and asked questions about the universe, the mysteries of the universe, all of the things that we wonder about. And it was actually, I was kicking and screaming the whole time we worked on those books together. My dad would come over and I'd be like, I don't want to do this. I want to talk about pyramids and sacred geometry and I want to talk about star systems and layers of the body and healing and all that. And he'd be like, no, we're going to talk about this Bible verse. So
Not initially.
Not initially.
No. Initially, we wanted to find everything out about the pyramids and Stonehenge and everything else. And then at the very end, I asked, after we did a 2-hour session, I asked, can I ask a question of Jesus about Paul? And I asked a question, and Jesus gave us an answer. And he said, ask him yourself. And that's when
right.
Paul came in. And then I thought, well, you know what? Everything they just taught us for 2 hours about pyramids and everything else, nobody's going to believe it. They're just not going to believe it.
But they're going to believe that the apostles are in our living room.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And I said, you know what? I know you're not into it, Marisa. You've never cracked a Bible. You don't know anything about the Bible. And here I was, a Christian. I'm going, oh, no, where are you going with this stuff? So I said, it'd be kind of nice if we could talk to the authors of the New Testament and just talk to them, find out what their life was like. So that led us into doing quite a few manuscripts.
Yeah, and the thing about it was that, surprisingly, I learned a lot of the teachings that I teach today from those beings that brought in stuff that weren't talking about the Bible. Obviously, back in the day, they weren't talking about the Bible because the Bible wasn't made yet, But they taught us a lot about spirits, crossing over spirits, fragments, the difference between a psychic and a medium and an intuitive and a channel. And really everything that I teach in my teachings is based off of that pack of guides that are here today. And we're going to channel them, and you guys can call in and ask questions. And it can be, if you ask a question that's personal in nature, the guides will always turn it into something that's going to help everybody else. So just an FYI. And especially today, since I'm going to be kind of in trance channeling, as opposed to the other days where I'm conscious and aware and can answer the question a little bit better as like a psychic or whatever. But so back to the Rise Up series real quick. Let me just kind of explain to you guys real quick about ascension. This is such a overly used word in the spiritual community, I feel, at least. And ascension basically means to rise up. And that's why I called the series Rise Up rather than Ascension. It's kind of like the term love and light. Everyone says love and light, and everyone says ascension. There's like these words that people use a lot. So ascension is, I want you to imagine something. I want you to imagine a huge version of yourself standing behind you, okay? And that huge version of you is a combination between your God consciousness and your source awareness. So source is what the electricity, it's what created us all. God would be like the mind that thought us up. So there's this big, huge version of you that's your conscious awareness standing behind you, or what I call the higher self. And that higher self plans your life. They decide who your parents are going to be, where you're going to live, what kind of person you're going to be, even what sign you're going to be, all of that stuff. This is all planned prior to coming down here into this reality. And then what happens, and I'm making this very, very simple, what happens is when you are, what is the word? In utero, like Tank here is in my belly. His body is growing, but his soul is fully formed. His soul remembers where he's been, what he's done, where he's going. And it's his akasha. You've heard the term akasha or akashic record readings. That's someone who can read your soul blueprint. They can read where you've been, what you've done, where you're going, all of that stuff, because it's stored within the soul. So these babies, while they're in our bellies, they have their soul projecting in through them, programming their human subconscious mind. And when we're born, what happens is a little piece of the higher self that's standing behind you takes a little tiny piece of itself. It's like basically look at it like I call it a GoPro video camera. Look at it like a GoPro video camera. That higher self sticks a little GoPro video camera inside of you. It's attached to everything your higher self knows. It's attached to what I call the genius inside. And that little GoPro video camera comes in to perceive life, to watch life through your eyes, experience life through your eyes, and hopefully, especially in this time of ascension, the whole goal is, as humans, becoming aware of that GoPro video camera, becoming aware that we are that camera, in essence, or we are the being that's basically controlling that, which is our higher self, or my dad calls it his Big Joe. He's got his big Joe back there, and I've got Big Marisa. But we all have a big version of us kind of just watching and witnessing. The thing about the GoPro video camera is since March, and then also since other, last year, I think it was June or something like that, the guide said that the veil, don't quote me on that date, but the veil lifted. And now that GoPro video camera basically goes to wherever you're thinking about. Okay, so if you are struggling over a family issue, or your ex-boyfriend or your ex-girlfriend, your ex-wife or your child, if you think about them constantly, your little GoPro video camera is going to go there, and your body is going to start reacting as if you are that other person. So that awareness is you. That awareness is you. And as soon as we can realize that awareness is actually a piece of God inside of us that's witnessing life through us, and that it's really us, that's when we can start healing our life, diseases. I see people here that have anxiety, trying to decide what career they want, all of these different things. And once we can bring our awareness into our own bodies, our own minds, reconnect with our own higher self, and perceive life just as us, not as our parents and our friends. And the second chakra stuff is where all the church stuff is. I was going to talk about that today. Is you're perceiving as kind of like a group consciousness when you're tied in with family, friends, churches, institutions, things like that. So the guides wanted to teach a meditation today basically on how to pull your awareness back in, how to disconnect from any group consciousness type things, which could be your family. It could be anything. It could be anything. And disconnect from that so that you can make decisions in your life without feeling like you have 5,000 voices going in your head trying to tell you to do 5,000 different things. So when Tank is born, his little camera will start down at the very, very bottom in the root chakra. And we stay in that root chakra for 3 years, completely protected, shielded from the world around us. And a lot of people will talk about how we have angels that protect us, early on in our life. And that's what they're talking about. That's what the guides have told us. When we move into the second chakra, this is when kids kind of start, thinking on their own. Why this? Why that? Why? Well, that doesn't seem right. Why? They also go into behavior like people-pleasing behavior, because really the thing that we're concerned about most with when we go into the second chakra is feeling good. So if being a people-pleaser and telling somebody we're a certain way or we're going to do something makes them happy and therefore makes us happy, then there begins the people-pleasing behavior that so many people have. And so when we move into that second chakra, it's also when kids take on emotional issues. We start building up defense mechanisms and things like that. So this is the chakra that most people live from. And in this time of ascension on the planet, the whole point is to come in and rise up into our higher levels of consciousness, like move up in the floors. Whereas like our solar plexus next week is going to be finding our individuality, who we are as a person, but our ego is also there too. So I was thinking we should just do the little meditation. I'm actually going to set a timer this time because the guides love to take over. So we can have some time to channel some questions and answers to the people today. One of the things that the guides are going to release everybody from today would be like I said, the institutions or a matrix, or I want you to picture your GoPro video camera on the second floor of your body. So that's your second chakra. And that's where there's a lot of, this is where people that are very concerned with money, career, relationships, we are defined by who we are with, what company we're with, things like that you can just look up second chakra, and there's tons of information online about chakras. So I won't even waste airtime going over chakras. But the thing is that this one's going to keep going. There we go. Thought I turned that off. Anyway, so the second chakra, learning how to release from institutions or churches. I don't know how many people out there are spiritual but not religious. That was actually the name of our first website, spiritual but not religious, because there's so many people that we are raised with a tinge of religion, and then we realize I'm empathic, I'm intuitive, I have these abilities, I see stuff, but I don't think I'm evil, but this church thinks I am, or this mode of thinking thinks I am, so I'm going to keep this hush-hush. I have a lot of people who have fake Facebook accounts so that they can sign up for my groups. So I make some of my groups secret so that people can feel safe, that family members aren't seeing them like my posts or things like that, even though I'm not really even talking about anything other than just intuition. But there's some people that are very self-conscious about this. This can rule our life, not just in spirituality. I mean, you see it very much so in spirituality, because when you're wanting to move into the intuitive side of things and find the peace of God inside of you, which, by the way, is what they were teaching 2,000 years ago. It's just kind of gotten misconstrued over the years, and my dad could probably talk for ages about that. But we'll get into the meditation first, and the guides are all standing here like looking at me, tapping on their watch. So let's see if we can get a little bit of nice little music here. And we're going to disconnect everybody from any sort of control by like some form of matrix. So like if you were baptized into a religion that you're not anymore, what happens is your little GoPro video camera inside of your body is kind of wrapped in like this little ball. And this ball has rules, and it has perceptions and things. And I could probably talk for 10 hours about all the people who their lives have changed overnight, just removing themselves from this. And it doesn't mean you can't still love your religion, but you don't want it to be you. You want to be you. You want to be your God self, living life through this body, enjoying this life, and being the creator of your own reality, not trapped in the lower chakras, wrapped up in someone else's rules. Okay, so everyone, we're just going to call in everyone's higher self that's listening today, or maybe listening in the future. What we'd like for you to do is to just close your eyes, and sitting up if you can. Close your eyes and place your hands, palms up, on your lap. And in your mind, all you have to say is calling in my real higher self. Ask them to step up behind you. As you begin to breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth, just use these breaths to clear out any stress, any worry, any thoughts you have in your mind. Repetitive thoughts. We're going to ask that everybody be raised up to a level of consciousness that is safe and for their highest and best good, so that they may ground, do this healing meditation wherever they may be, safely and without the interference of any outside energies. So we ask if there's any earthbound spirits, any discarnate souls, anything other than the higher self. We command that all of that leave now. Go back to source. There we go. So at the base of your spine, what we'd like for you to do is to imagine that you have a portal or a tube. What we'd like for you to do is to imagine that this tube, kind of like a gas pump or something, is leaving from the base of your spine, which is where your Kundalini energy is, traveling down through the earth, and your higher selves will assist with the energies you need in order to see this tube go down into the center of the earth. So just continuing to breathe. You can use your breath as you breathe in. The tube goes down into the earth. As you breathe out, anything that's not for your highest and best good that's blocking you from these earth energies is released. Breathe in again. This tube or this portal, or however you want to see it, continues to go down until it taps the center of the earth like striking gold. When this happens, a huge surge of the brightest light that you could ever possibly imagine goes shooting up in the form of liquid light through this tube, in through the base of your spine, this liquid light fills up very quickly your legs, your knees, your calves, your ankles, your feet. This light is illuminating the entire bottom half of your body, healing childhood issues. And we'll facilitate in this healing as well, and releasing things from those that we see. You can actually see all the people doing the healing. Here we go. And in your mind, I want you to say, I forgive myself. I love myself. I am guilt-free. And this doesn't have to be about anything in particular. This is just setting a frequency of letting go. Forgiveness is letting go of the energy. If we don't forgive, we hang on to it. So this light from the center of the earth continues to blast up through your body, through the base of the spine, and through your legs, all the way up into the lower part of your abdomen area. This is your second chakra, below the belly button. This light energy fills that entire area. What we'd like for you to do is to imagine now that you are in that area, in your second chakra, being surrounded and filled with light. And just ask, do I have any religious contracts from past lives? This could be a religion that you got baptized to in a past life that is not the religion that you're baptized to in this lifetime. You could have been in some crazy cult or something, or you could have been Jewish and now you're Christian, or vice versa. The key here is releasing ourselves of any obligation to any way of seeing God, the rules. Just ask yourself. If you're intuitive, you'll feel a yes or a no. If not, don't worry. The intention of just asking to let go will release these matrix from you today, and we are going to assist in this. So continue to allow this light to fill up this area, creating a bubble of light around you. This beautiful bubble of light is like a snow globe. And as the energy from the center of the earth continues to enter in through the root, it's going to start pushing your snow globe up through your body, kind of like a boat. Imagine a boat with water filling a tub, like a little toy boat, and as the water fills, the boat goes up. So continue to pull in this light energy from the earth, and it's going to rise your bubble up. Up out of the second chakra into the third, which is in your solar plexus. And from here, we're going to ask the higher self, the guides, each individual's guardian angel, master guide, to release each and every person, as long as it's for their highest and best good and in alignment with their soul's mission, of any pacts, any agreements, any initiations, any baptisms from past, present, parallel lives that are not in alignment with the soul path in this life, that are not for the person's highest and best good. There we go. And as we release these now, we also release each individual from any obligation to an institution or a family. Yes, we're obligated to our family, but it's different when you're obligated energetically. It means you can't be your own person. You have to be your family. There we go. So as the guides release this from each person now, continue to allow this light energy to come up through the earth, pushing your bubble up through the third chakra, up into the heart. All of this beautiful light just totally saturating your entire body, grounding you to the earth, cleansing you, clearing you, purifying your energy. All layers, all dimensions, through time and space. There we go. Visualize as this light goes through the heart, clearing out all the heart walls, the heart blocks. And we ask that each person listening to this now and in the future be given the ability to accept 100% of the love and unconditional love sent to them. Accept that into their life now. Our heart walls block us, keep us from allowing this in, or we see it as something different. So just allow this light energy to fill your heart, move up into the shoulders, go down your arms, fill your fingers, your fingernails. Allow this to go through the throat. And then if you're a visual person, you can visualize all this light energy going up into the brain, filling all the crevices. If not, and you're a feeler, just feel as this energy moves up into your mind, clearing out all negative beliefs, things that are not serving you anymore, things that you were told when you were a child and you just believed, because that's what we do. Just allow this light energy to completely dissolve anything that's not for the highest and best good. From the mind, and this bubble that you're in, you're still in, but now you're in your mind and rising up to the very top of your head, where you'll be sitting right on the top of your crown. And now we're going to ask your higher self to step into your body and align with you. And we'll assist in this attunement. So just ask for your real higher self from behind you. They're going to place their hands out and send any energies you need. You may need compassion, you may need forgiveness, you may need motivation. Doesn't matter, whatever you need, the higher self is going to send you in that bubble on the top of your head now. I'm going to send you that energy, and as soon as they're done, they're going to step into your body. So we ask that the higher self step into each individual's body, all bodies, all layers, all times, all spaces and places. Saturating the mind, body, and spirit with the consciousness of that which we truly are, the higher self. God experiencing all of God's creations. That's you. We're just going to sit for a moment and hold space while you allow this big piece of you to step into you from behind you. When that piece of you is fully aligned with you, a beam of light coming from the top of your head will shoot out straight into the air and connect you with Source. So we'll just sit for a moment. And if you can't see, it's okay. It's just your imagination. Even if you can't imagine it, the intention is good enough. If you'd like to see what your higher self looks like, for those of you that are visual people, you can ask that the soul mirror drop down in front of you. This is the technique that the channel has created with us, where a mirror will drop down in front of you and it'll show you your higher self, as if you're looking in a mirror at yourself, but you're looking at your higher self. So calling in the soul mirror, you can say, show me my higher self, my real higher self. Let's see what it looks like. If you see something that you don't like, a lot of the times these are the fears that we pick up and we receive over the years, that we might see something bad, so we do, when really there's nothing bad there. It's just our mind kind of playing tricks on us. So if you see something you don't like, I've gotten emails from people over the weeks where they say, I saw something in the mirror I didn't like, what do I do? You can just ask that your higher self, I say Control Alt Delete or zero it out. I'll say 0 and I'll just have it all run light energy through the mirror, and it will dissolve any of those thoughts that are distorting what you should be seeing as your higher self. So, all right, so everybody's grounded. I've never done that meditation before. That was a little different. I actually did a lot of healing. So those of you who are clairvoyant, I've had people writing to me over the week saying that they actually see me walk into their house and I'm doing healing on them, and they'll ask me what I'm wearing, or they'll say, are you wearing blah, blah, blah? And I'll say, yeah. And they'll say, oh my gosh, I saw you. So I actually could feel myself kind of popping into different places, pulling cords and clearing people and doing some healing. So I removed everybody from any sort of like thought matrix. And you can look it up. I think it's an actual thing, like a thought matrix or a religious matrix, if it's something that interests you. And again, it's not just this lifetime, it's other lifetimes. And that can give us conflict. Everybody wants to see. So they say, I want to develop my third eye. I want to develop my heart, open my heart and open my third eye. And I tell people, do the second chakra first. The second chakra is what you need to clear, because the second chakra is what's telling you it's evil. The second chakra is the one that's telling you that it's bad. And until you feel that it's good, your higher self will not allow you to see, because then you'll see something scary. So if you are wanting to learn how to channel, you're wanting to learn how to be psychic or intuitive or any of these amazing, awesome abilities that can so easily begin to be developed in anyone in some way, shape, or form, go for the first chakra and the second chakra first and clear those, and you will be surprised, just absolutely blown away by how fast your abilities open up. And connecting with your higher self and allowing your higher self to give you the messages. Communicate with them in that mirror that the guides just brought in. I've got meditations on www.patreon, patreon.com. You can search my name, Marisa Moris, or you can do Discovering Intuition. So it's patreon.com/Discovering Intuition.